Hello, my name is Johann. Over the past month, I've been a IT service intern at Next Kernel, and I'd like to detail today in this presentation what I've learned, pretty much what I've learned, what I've been doing over the past month. So let's get right into it. So over the past month, I've been working on a project called Purchase Requisition. It's pretty much a form that users can fill out in order to request purchases, as you can see by the name. Um, Pretty much the user will fill it out, requesting some sort of new equipment or something. They can list the equipment, they can list why, they can put their name, their supervisor name, and other details that they would need to properly order the item. And then IT and the supervisor and purchasing manager will be able to edit the rest of the form, changing the status or the price or tracking number, etc. Before we go into that, I'd like to talk more about Microsoft Teams. So Microsoft Teams was kind of the first thing I learned how to use at the start of the internship. So I learned how to use it, and then I also learned how to better communicate and collaborate with my partners, especially Ash and Daniel. And so I learned also, or it was pretty helpful because I knew where to contact them whenever I needed help or communicate updates or to just find the resources that I needed to use. And then there's ticket resource management. So there's three main parts of the design process for this. There's understanding, and then design and implementation. Understanding, we want to know, we kind of want to know the background before we get into like a solution. And then in design, we provide solutions to like some sort of problem. And then implementation, we build those solutions and provide an application. And then in IT management, there's three things that we can use to help better reduce costs and increase productivity. Using a ticket system, resource confluence, and training. So with a ticket system, we want to know, hey, where are our issues coming up? How can we solve them? And then resource confluence is kind of just managing our resources and finding all the things that we can share with our teammates, finding solutions and resources that we need in order to solve our problems and sharing them with each other, because just keeping it to ourselves, there's no point in doing so. It doesn't help the team at all. And then there's training, which is making small videos that help old and new employees alike in their day-to-day. Okay, going back to the project itself, I use SharePoint as my main medium to use the form. So using SharePoint, I created a list. And so it kind of just shows, as you can see on the screen, it shows the list of items that I used to submit through the form, or I submitted through the form. And I also learned how to manage permissions on the site and list so that specific viewers can see only their own items that they've submitted, and then they can't edit. Only IT can edit. I also use PowerApps to create the form itself. So at the bottom, I created customized buttons. I created a customized form in order to connect it with SharePoint. And then I also added user-specific permissions on items on specific fields. So the bottom two rows, supervisor through tracking number, only specific members in IT are able to access this, or supervisor or purchasing manager. And I've done this through setting specific permissions through email. And then there's Power Automate, otherwise known as Flow. And so I use this to automate sending out emails upon two triggers. So the first one is sending an email upon submitting a new purchase request. So when the user adds a new item to the list, they will get an email, and also IT and their supervisor and purchasing manager will also get an email detailing, hey, this is a request, and then they'll also get a link to the item, which they can take a look at or edit, except for the requester themselves. And then I also created a flow that would send an email upon updating our existing request. So if IT were to update, or the supervisor or the purchasing manager were to approve the item, then then the user would get a request or an email detailing that, hey, your item has been updated. And finally, I wrote technical documentation for this project. And so first off, it just helped me practice my writing skills better, but it also helped me practice my explanation skills, how to better explain things step by step. Because there's two main parts to the documentation. One of them being how to use a form, but the other half, or the other majority being how to create the form. And so there's a lot of specific details that you need to know in order to properly create the thing and make sure it works well as intended. So I learned better how to explain step by step, try to be more clear with users that might not be as fast or might not be as used to SharePoint or PowerApps. And that's it. Thank you for watching this presentation. Thank you to Daniel and Ash for helping me out during this project. Thank you for watching.